Well, colour me surprised, Disney actually reminded me there's still some of that magic left, and they did it with a sequel no less. Zootopia 2 is something I never thought we'd see, but as a long-time fan of the first film, I've always wanted more. More of the characters, more of the world, more of that charm the original nailed so well. Between the manga, the comics, and the short form series, a sequel felt inevitable. And now, that is finally here. Yeah, to say the least, I was excited. How does it work as a sequel? And of course, what really is going on with Nick and Judy? Before diving into the new film, let's rewind just a bit. I'm assuming you've already seen the first movie, but here's a quick refresher. The original Zootopia follows Judy Hopps, chasing her dream of becoming the first bunny police officer. After struggling through training, she finally gets the badge, only to be shoved onto 𝕰𝕤𝕤 duty. But when she's given a missing mammal case with an impossible time limit, she crosses paths with Nick Wilde. At first, he wants nothing to do with her, but as the chase deepens, the two of them get dragged into this bigger conspiracy involving predators, suddenly going savage. Tensions rise between prey and predator. Judy and Nick fall out, and when they reunite, they uncover the truth behind the attacks, even if the villain reveal is pretty underwhelming. However, the film still holds up to this day. The characters, the writing, the mystery, the atmosphere. That's what kept me wanting more. The social commentary the first film aimed for didn't fully land, but overall it still handled things reasonably well. Fortunately, Nick and Judy's story remained the central focus, which really helped keeping the film engaging. And let's be honest, with how it ended and the insane amount of Nick x Judy content that followed the internet afterwards, yes, I was guilty too. Fans just wanted to see those two happy and together. This film is no exception. If anything, it leans even more into what the marketing focused on. We start exactly where the first movie ended, with this is the male bellwether behind bars, and the two are now celebrated across Zootopia by the new mayor, Brian Windancer, during the 100th anniversary of the Zootopia Weather Wars. Structures created by the 𝕰𝕤𝕤𝕒 family. Chief Bogo begins assigning cases at the ZPD, targeting an overseas cargo smuggler. Judy and Nick, however, are ordered to simply observe. But before Bogo can even finish speaking, Judy and Nick have already sprinted off after their own lead. And we immediately see the writers know exactly what they are doing, by playing into Nick and Judy being a couple. The movie practically spells it out. Different species can date, and it's not weird, or at the very least, it's not taboo. I even think the film hints they could have children. If they did, I imagine it would work like the Sonic comics, where the child is born as one species or the other. Trying to get at the cargo because Judy simply cannot handle phones, they blow their cover and launch into a high-speed chase. Judy rams the suspect's van off of a bridge, barely missing the parade, but she sees what looks like a snake escape the wreck. She picks up a piece of reptile skin and looks up everything she can to find out about snakes in Zootopia. Bogo, not amused, calls everyone in. Judy tries to explain what she saw, but Bogo doesn't want to hear it. He tells her that he likes her, he's proud of her, but she can't keep doing this. Nick tries, and fails, to get himself out of trouble, and the two are pulled off of duty, sent to a temporary assignment to get their partnership under control. They're taken to partners in crisis. Judy, as always, wants to prove herself. Nick tells her she doesn't need to prove herself to anyone. However, when has that ever stopped her? Back home, Judy hears about the incident from 100 years ago, connected to the 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒 journal containing the original Weather War plans. Digging deeper, she learns that this anniversary also marks the only recorded snake attack in Zootopia. And on top of that, Judy notices that the same company connected to the snake at the wreck is also working at the gala. With that, Judy rushes to Nick. She explains that this might be their last chance to prove themselves as a team. Nick reluctantly agrees to at least take a look around. Arriving there, Judy finds a van that stands out from the others, with a door left slightly ajar. Their quick look instantly becomes a full-on undercover operation, finally giving Judy her chance to infiltrate a place like the gala. Nick smooth talks his way past security. Inside, Bogo is already there, and Judy bumps into Paulbert. who turns out to be a 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒. Here we see a parallel between them, both having something to prove. While Judy's distracted, Nick scans the room. He notices something off and accidentally bumps into Pogo. While being escorted out, he tries to signal Judy, kicking a spotlight in the process. With that, a snake drops into view. Grabbing the 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒 and the journal, Judy gives chase. She catches up to the snake, and he tries to explain that he's not the villain, that he's trying to clear the reputation of snakes, and that the only way to do that is with the book he's carrying. This is where the 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒 show their true nature. They threaten Judy and Nick immediately, wanting to kill the snake and destroy any evidence the book may hold. Judy reacts quickly, setting the place ablaze, with Pogo getting bitten, and Judy is now framed. Now Nick and Judy are on the run with the journal. With the snake gone, Nick and Judy are picked up by none other than Mr. Big, with Nick making sure a phone doesn't out them once more. What's interesting here is that Mr. Big, being a part of a crime family, knows to stay away from the 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒, showing that those who know about their true nature know to keep their mouths shut. A territorial family with the potential and resources to expand their power is dangerous, which we get to see, as they are the ones who put in this new mayor, possibly even more before this one. But Judy isn't someone who runs away, and Nick isn't someone who leaves his partner behind. To understand the journal, they need help, and that means finding a reptile. There's only one person now that they can turn to. Before going any further, I highly recommend watching Zootopia 2. If you're still on the fence about this movie, I'm glad to say it single-handedly restored my faith in Disney sequels. As a big fan of the first film, I've always wanted more, not just from the characters, but from the world of Zootopia itself. I think this movie did a great job at world building. However, I know everyone is here more for the dream team and the heart of the soul of this movie. The partnership is the spotlight this time, with the undertones of this being more than a work-nice partnership. That, however, will be a video for another time. Getting back into the film, Nibbles leads Nick and Judy through Zootopia's outer region, where aquatic mammals and displaced reptiles live. At the reptiles' hideout, Jesus explains that only a viper can fill the metal book's hidden engravings. Judy begins questioning why a 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒 would hide a secret meant for a snake of all people. They are discovered, and the snake steals the book. During the chase, JD crosses the red line unknowingly, and both she and Nick nearly drown before he saves them. With Nick getting more worried and Judy needing to keep going on, they meet two climbers. Judy notices a flower matching the matches and learns of a snake hideout on top of the mountain. She and Nick climb up, and at the top, Judy discovers proof of the entire reptile neighborhood. The 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒 is buried in the snow. However, this is where their two personalities come head to head. While this is the more cliche part, I think it's handled well and isn't out of place. They aren't angry with each other. Nick is worried about a friend, and Judy, as always, wants to overachieve and prove herself. It's clear that she sees Nick as the extension of her, and while it is corny, I love the carrot pen breaking at the mountain, especially with this giant mountain ahead of them. It's something so important to them as a whole, and it represents how Nick and Judy represent Zootopia, and right now, that bond is broken. However, the snake, and none other than Polbert, is here to rescue Judy. Nick, however, is not so lucky. With Nick arrested, he sees firsthand how far the 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒 will go to flush them out and how brutal their methods are. Returning to Judy, the snake introduces himself as Gary. At the hideout, Gary uses the campfire's heat to reveal what no one else can see. The book belonged to his grandmother, the true creator of Zootopia's weather system. Her 𝕰𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒 investor stole her patent, framed her, and forced reptiles out. The original patent was saved and hidden. Judy realizes that the buried reptile enclosure can be located using the clock tower lights, but first, they need to restore power. Meanwhile, Nick is held in a cell across from none other than Nibbles. He admits he regrets what he said to Judy, revealing he has never known how to express himself. with Nibbles showing she can get out any time, escape and call Flash for a getaway. Nick contacts Klaus Auto to locate Judy. Judy is nearly shot when they are tracked, but Nick reaches her just in time. Judy's group enters the tower, however Nick is locked out but manages to finally get inside. With Judy's group activates the lights, revealing the clock tower buried beneath the snow. However, this is where Pobbert betrays them. And I think this is where the team really took the criticism of the first movie's Bellwether twist to heart. There was always something off about Pobbert, and many of us suspected he'd be a villain. But with enough time passed, and with him being somewhat of a parallel to Judy while also helping them, it's easy to lower your guard before the reveal comes. Even if you expected the twist villain, it never becomes the main focus. The real focus is the parallel with Judy, later showing that the need to prove yourself can get you and the people you care about hurt. With Pobbert cornering Nick, Gary makes a final effort. He absorbs Judy's warmth, giving him enough strength to act. Nick fights back while Gary tells him to kick down the anti-venom, with Nick risking his life to deliver it. With that, Judy jumps into action, saving Nick just in time, and the two finally confront their feelings honestly. However, Pobbert survives the fall and escapes to warn his family about the exact location of the patent is now known. Judy and Nick pursue him. After a fight, they arrive first, with Jake and Nibbles joining them. However, Pobbert catches up. However, the ZPD overhears his confession, knocks him out, and with the original patent, the scandal is exposed. The reptile's habitat is restored, and Nick and Judy repair their relationship. To make their renewed trust and partnership, they both now have something in the carrot pen. This series still has it after all these years. While it includes a couple of callbacks, it never felt like nostalgia bait. In fact, the callbacks were great, especially the carrot pen, because they help deepen the relationship between the characters. My only nitpick would be the tone of the movie. When it comes to the jokes, I think the film would have benefited a lot more from a less humorous approach to it. However, this is Disney we're talking about. That's not to say the jokes were terrible or completely out of place. A lot of them, along with the references, worked for what they were, without calling too much attention to themselves. Overall, the movie does a wonderful job with the cast, and it really feels like the creators listened to the complaints about the first film, as well as the fans, mainly when it comes to Nick and Judy, and I'll get to that in a moment. The world building fits in perfectly, and the message isn't too in your face or overly spelled out for the viewer, which was refreshing. The mystery unfolds nicely, and the twist villain was one of the highlights. Pobbert honestly feels like a response to fans who said the original twist villain didn't make any sense. Pobbert does. He works because we see him as a mirror to Judy, someone trying to fit in and willing to go certain lengths. We actually get time to understand him, which makes his reveal more impactful. Speaking of twists, I like that they bring a snake into this. Whereas snakes are normally the villains in a lot of these stories, Gary's just trying to show that he's not at all like that, even always having anti-venom on him just in case anything was to happen. However, my biggest credit would have to go to the reptiles. They're obviously the main focus of this story, and it shows. They actually put thought into how these animals would live. And I absolutely love the fact that they played a prank on Nick and Judy. Speaking of, this is probably the main point a lot of people talk about and probably want to know my opinion on. Nick and Judy. To me, their chemistry has never been better. However, when it comes to them being a thing, it's a shame that so many people don't understand that having no kiss doesn't mean there are no romantic feelings. And based on how this film handles it, it seems that this will be saved for the third film. Yes, we are indeed getting a third movie, with there being a teaser at the end of the film to show this. However, at the time of writing this, it's just been announced that there's going to be a fourth and fifth as well. This movie did so well that Disney will most likely focus heavily on all things Zootopia. With what I understand, it looks like they're going to try and put out a Zootopia movie every 2 to 3 years, which to me is fine, but the looks of it is going to be all hands on deck for this franchise. and I can't wait for this movie to come out sooner than later, as hopefully it'll put an end to the arc with Nick and Judy's relationship. Now, 4 and 5, I'm not too sure about. I'm a bit optimistic, but hopefully that's not too misguided. However, when it comes to Zootopia, the world building and the characters are the main focus, never too much the story. So all I can hope for now is that we'll get some new characters for 4 and 5. But in any case, I want to know your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, why not like and subscribe? It helps me out a ton. And speaking of helping me out, thank you to today's supporters. It means the world to me and you support a channel like mine. In any case, I have been Fearfulmilk. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.